You're listening to the Unframe of Mind Show, the place to have the most mind-stretching, unprotected, intellectual intercourse of your life. Your host, Daniel Wagner, battles the forces of evil by lobbing fiery balls of truth, reason, and evidence over safe room walls.
So after decades evading the police, Joaquín Guzmán Loera, the Mexican crime lord known as El Chapo, was convicted in a drug conspiracy trial. He faces a life sentence. According to New York Post, U.S. Attorney Richard Donohue said this conviction is a victory for the American people who have suffered so long and so much while Guzman made billions pouring poison over our southern border. He was clearly in... Oh, I'm the one speaking now, so just don't confuse this as the quote. He was clearly in direct competition against U.S. conglomerates and Big Pharma, who are just doing just fine delivering poison to the people from within our borders. They actually did end up seizing $14 billion in assets from him.
Wow, $14 billion.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I think Trump even himself mentioned possibly, can we take that $14 billion and put it toward the wall?
Yeah, fuck me.
Here's the angle I wanted to take on this, and I'm going to try to keep this short because we still have our Phobismus section. Stay tuned for that. So here's what I'm thinking. I wanted to read off El Chapo's charges, the 10 official charges that he was actually convicted for.
All right.
So, count 1, engaging in continuing criminal enterprise.
Cool.
Which under that was like, basically transporting cocaine. It was like a bunch of charges of that.
Right.
Count 2, international cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and marijuana manufacture and distribution conspiracy. So he was,
Sounds like
working with people to sell drugs.
Yeah.
Count 3, cocaine importation conspiracy. Count 4, cocaine distribution conspiracy. Count 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all international distribution of cocaine. Count 9, use of firearms. In this case, it was a machine gun, and it was fired.
Cool.
Count 10, conspiracy to launder narcotics proceeds. Okay, so the reason in the title of this little video here, I don't think I'd said it in the title. Description, rather. Anyway,
It is, yeah.
I said, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is a big win for Big Pharma. Big Pharma is his biggest competitor, first of all. But I'm looking at the idea I'm looking at this through an anarchist and maybe even a libertarian lens where you should be free to do with your body what you want to do. Victimless crimes are not crimes. You should only consider it a crime if there's actually a victim here. Okay. And in this case, I'm looking through this all these different charges that he's got, and I'm seeing absolutely nothing on here that would constitute a crime that has a victim. Okay. Now, I don't know if I'm sure he's done some other things that would actually be crimes. I'm sure there's. The only thing I could find that might have been even close to a victim crime is tucked under count 1, way at the end of it. There's like 27 charges of different things of transporting marijuana and cocaine and all that. Tucked under count 1, it says conspiracy to commit murder, January 1989 to September 2014. That's not committing murder. That's a conspiracy to commit murder. It's a little different.
Yeah, you would think something like that would be more at the top than rather at the bottom.
Yeah, you would think. That would be like, oh, you're killing people, or you're conspiring to kill people, or you're hiring people to kill people. That's bad. We should probably punish that. But no, it's all the drugs, distributing drugs, importing drugs.
You might have killed
drugs. And then you might have killed somebody. It's like, no, hold on now. As far as I'm concerned, all drugs should be legalized. I'm a firm proponent. Like, if you want to take drugs, and as long as you're doing it to your own body, and you're not hurting nobody else, and there's no other victim, do your due, man. I don't care. We're allowed to put any fucking thing else in our body that we want. We're allowed to drink bucketfuls of alcohol if we want to, and literally kill ourselves from alcohol poisoning.
Drive a car
if we
and
want
kill
to.
other people in the process.
No. See, but that's there. Now you have a victim. Okay. That's what you punish. So
But you don't become a victim once you OD on the shit and die from it?
A victim of who? From who?
From the person that sold you this shit.
You bought it willingly.
But if you're enabling that
put it in your
doesn't
body.
That make you responsible?
Not at all. You put it in your body. You put it in your own body willingly.
No,
like
you do.
I'm buying. If I come to you and I say, hey man, I want to buy some cocaine.
But hang on a second. If you're addicted to a drug and you're feeding somebody that that drug and you know that it's tearing them up and it's destroying their family and their life, you're going to keep enabling that?
Well, by that same logic, then, if we follow that path to its logical conclusion, is you would also have to punish casinos for gambling addictions.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I mean, yeah, people are responsible for their own addictions. I mean, I'm a smoker. I should be responsible for my own addiction.
Right. But should the
blame
cigarette companies be held responsible? Should they be able to be held legally responsible for you getting a lung cancer?
No.
Should the casinos be held legally responsible because you decided to go ahead and gamble away the title to your home?
No, but at the same time, too, smoking, I still have my thought process. I can still make rational decisions. You know, if I'm gambling, I'm still making a rational decision to make that.
I can also go and say alcohol. Should the liquor store be held responsible if you go out after drinking their product
because I think
and you get in an accident?
I think alcohol should be illegal. I think marijuana should be legal.
Oh, well, at least you're being consistent. You think liquor and marijuana should be illegal? Or I'm sorry,
no. Alcohol
say that one more
should
time.
be illegal.
Yeah.
Marijuana should be legal.
Should be legal, and you think alcohol should be illegal?
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen the statistics as far as alcohol killing people, killing other people, are astronomical. I think once you put that into your body and you consume so much of it, you're so incoherent on what you do and what you say. You're running the risk of not only taking your life, the people in the car, if you're driving, and then the people that you hit or no. I mean, I've seen so many families messed up because of that.
In what I'm talking about, that would be where the crime is committed.
Right.
Is if you're irresponsible with your consumption.
But you don't think that cocaine
because I mean, for you to between alcohol and marijuana, if I was to legalize one and make the other one illegal, I would do the exact same thing you said. If I absolutely had to make a choice.
Okay.
I agree with you. The numbers are terrible. When you compare the two. But what I'm looking at is the fact that if you have a situation where you have a ton of people that are out there responsibly drinking, not hurting anybody. They enjoy it because it loosens their inhibitions. They're not doing anything wrong. You're saying that should be illegal. Okay. Even though they're being responsible and they're not hurting anybody. There's no crime.
No.
There's no victim here is what I'm saying.
No, there's always that possibility.
That's kind of, there's a possibility of me
of
shooting
anything.
somebody in the face with my gun because I bought one. By that logic, you should also say the gun should be illegal.
Yeah, but how many people, I mean, honestly, I would consider myself a responsible drinker, but then there's been times where I've done some really fucked up shit when I've been, when I've been drinking.
Yeah.
Like...
And if you broke any laws in the process, you should be held responsible for those things
that they know about.
Right. You should be held. Yeah, and you should be held responsible for the laws that are broken.
But I guess my
even
point
while
is,
you're on
that I mean, I don't. Am I thinking about a rational thought when I've been drinking and I'm thinking, I'm going to think about this for a minute. I shouldn't get behind the wheel of that car because it's going to endanger everybody's life. No, I'm thinking about shit. I want to get to the next bar. I want to get to the next titty bar. I mean, I want to continue this party. I want to keep partying. Now, I guess because I've kind of aged, obviously, I can go out with some of the guys and have a couple of drinks and then turn it off. I mean, it just really depends on the person, I guess. I don't know.
I just don't like or don't agree with the idea of controlling people and telling people what they can and can't put in their body or they can and can't do. I mean, because it's like there was a time when people thought that a tattoo should be illegal. That it was like societal taboo, but like.
Yeah, I'm like all freaking tatted up.
Like tell people that they can't put ink on their body, or tell people that they can't drink coffee because when you drink too much coffee, you get too wired and you end up,
So what do we do then with the people that want to drink so excessively and want to get behind the wheel of a car? And
again, once there's a victim, you punish that. Like,
why do we have to wait until there's a victim?
Well, there has to be. Obviously, there's laws ahead of time that say, hey, listen, if you.
But as an anarchist, you don't believe in laws.
That's not true. We've already discussed this.
I was trying to pull a fast one on you. It didn't work out so well.
It's not true. We've already discussed this. I know. Anyway, it's kind of nice actually finding something that we like really disagree on. And I appreciate that you're being consistent and even saying that alcohol should be.
I mean, honestly,
illegal as well.
I
do appreciate the consistency.
Right, but I'm trying to prove a point that like when it comes to smoking, even though it is an addiction, it is considered a drug, legal drug, nicotine. I still consume it and I smoke it and, I do it all the time. But does it impair my judge or thought process to do something I shouldn't do? No.
I just anything. again, I'm pretty much straight libertarian in this regard. Is like,
Right.
if you want to do it to your body and you ain't hurting nobody.
I mean,
fuck
no,
you.
I am for all the fact that if you want to do it, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that I don't understand how you can make marijuana an illegal drug and yet make alcohol, which has got more killings.
Let me try to frame it this way:
of people who have hung themselves, committed suicide, that
Right.
have taken other lives, and I don't understand how you can legalize that.
Yeah, let me see if I can frame it a slightly different way. It's not the drug that actually causes the damage. It's the people's behavior when they're on the drugs that causes the damage.
Yeah, I've seen people
are
that
responsible.
drink.
It's almost like saying that, you can't say drugs kill people any more than you can say guns kill people.
Right.
That's not true. It doesn't hold up.
Right.
Logically, it doesn't hold up. Let me try this from a different angle, though. What I'm trying to remember, and I'm just kind of randomly chatting until it comes back to my mind. Brain farts so hard. I had a good angle I was trying to attack this from. Libertarian angle. Do what you want to your body. Oh, my question was, when you sit there and try to control those substances, like when they tried to have a prohibition on alcohol,
Right.
what happened?
Oh, people were buying it left and right, or trying to find ways.
People
of
want it
getting
even
and-
more.
Yes, I know.
In every country where it's been legalized, drug addiction's gone down. Like, crime's gone down. Like, all the things that people worry is going to go out of control, it's actually gone the absolute opposite direction.
I don't think for alcohol that would ever be the case.
That it would go the opposite direction. You just sit there and said it does go the opposite direction. Like, when people try to when you try to go through prohibition, people start buying more of it because they want it.
Well, no, they do, but I don't think that it's really going to make a dent in the fact of people still going out there and drinking and driving and doing stupid shit when they're out drinking. People are going to do it regardless, whether it's legal or not. My point is that I don't understand how they can legalize something that they know willingly can alter a person's state of mind to go out there and do something that can harm others. Marijuana,
They
don't have
deliver
that ability.
prescription drugs for that all the time. People still drive on it. They're not supposed to operate heavy machinery. They still do it. I mean, there's so many different, like, for you to try to micromanage people's lives like that is just an impossible task. It's literally
well, I'm not
impossible.
saying that you got to micromanage people's lives and what they can and cannot consume as far as alcohol or any kind of substance.
But you absolutely would, though, because you'd have to sit there and stop them from doing it in their own home. You'd have to stop them from doing it right outside their home. You'd have to make sure that they didn't have any way of accessing it, that you were trying to control it at the borders and keep it from coming to the country. They can't even keep drugs out of prisons, and they're arguably the highest secure locations in the world. You can't even keep drugs out of prison. Like, there's a market for it. People want it. They're going to buy it. So then you have a situation where we run into guys like El Chapo that are making billions of dollars by taking advantage of that market and taking the risk that's involved with servicing that market on the black market. People are going to buy it regardless.
Right.
I would much rather see situations where, okay, it's legal, but we also have programs. It's not demonized. It's not stigmatized, where people, if they have addictions, they don't have to be afraid to go get help because they're afraid they're going to go to jail for taking a drug they shouldn't be taking.
Well, so
like, they can go get the actual help they need to solve the problems for their addictions. They can get support and they can get help and they can get guidance.
So then how should I react if I'm in a car accident with my daughter? My daughter's life is taken from a drunk driver, but yet this is a substance that is apparently controlled and it's legal.
So
I should be okay with that.
Are you? Don't straw man me here. I didn't say you should be okay with that.
I'm not. I'm not.
What I'm
because
saying is
that has been time and time again situations that people have been through.
Right. The story comes up all the time. You hear the story constantly where people are, sad shit.
So then I feel like
happens.
so now I feel like people are having to manage my emotions and have to be accepting of what somebody has done because they decided to take that route of wanting to drink, and to drink alcohol and make a stupid decision.
Well, the law doesn't have anything to do with your emotions. First of all, the law just has to do with.
No, I'm talking about the person who decided to.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, obviously bad shit happens all the time sometimes, and whether alcohol was involved or not, sometimes people get in accidents and no alcohol's involved.
Right.
Sometimes people are just texting. Should we ban phones?
Well,
I know we already banned texting.
Well,
which I'm okay with that, or making restrictions on texting and driving.
Well, if if we're going to go this route, then we obviously know what happened to my cousin. That died. But what you didn't know about the accident is that she was going through a construction site and there was an ash truck fault that pulled out. Asphalt had covered the taillights and the brake lights. You never saw the truck. Yeah. So, you really don't know until the accident happens. And then, I think alcohol, once you find out that person, was obviously in a state of mind where they couldn't control themselves because of drinking. They want to blame that.
Yeah, you're not really
That's what
mad
I'm
at
saying.
the alcohol, though. You're mad at the person for making the decisions they made.
Right.
You can punish, you can, make it illegal to drink and drive. That's fine. If that's what society agrees on, then make it illegal to drink and drive. We already have penalties for that. If a cop catches you drinking and driving, you lose your license. You're not doing too well all of a sudden. And if you end up killing somebody, you're charged with manslaughter. You actually go to jail for shit like that. There is penalties for doing those things where a victim is involved, and they're already pretty well established, known ahead of time for stuff like that. Most people know, hey, don't drink and drive. The word's out there. It's not like a secret, like, oh, I didn't know that law.
Yeah, it kind of bothers me that people still push that limit to no bounds and want to intoxicate themselves so bad to make poor choices in life.
Yeah, I just don't agree with taking it away from everybody, taking that right away from everybody for the decisions of a few, because that's really all it is. I mean, how many people are out there drinking every single night, never got in an accident, never had a problem? They drink responsibly. They enjoy it. It's something they just enjoy. They enjoy getting into the culture of it. They enjoy getting into different vintage wines and the year, and they like to talk about where the wine was from. There's a whole underground culture to this thing.
Right.
And for you to say, well, that should be illegal, I mean, you're taking that from people that are minding their own business. They're not doing anything wrong. There's no victims. There's nobody getting hurt. Like, I can't do that. I can't take that away from everybody because of a sad story because that would be just very similar to the left sitting there bringing these stories in about all these sad sob stories of immigrants coming across the border and Donald Trump locking them up, and we shouldn't have a wall because these poor kids are getting separated from their family.
I was fixing to go that route.
It kind of has that same feel. It's like you're using this emotional story, which is bad. Which is bad. I do understand that. I sympathize for that, but it's not the liquor's fault.
Right.
There's no until there's a victim. I get anyway. The reason I'm going this route is because I'm also trying to say you don't have a situation where the government has to go and seize $14 billion of illegal drug assets from some guy who's arguably doing the exact same business that our prescription drug companies are doing, except he's doing it in the black market. He's literally doing the same thing, except he has a whole lot higher risk involved in this, which might involve him to do some things that probably are less than desirable in terms of the law. And if it was legalized, he could probably be a pretty fucking successful dude. We could probably buy El Chapo stock and make money.
Chapo!
He could probably have an IPO sometime, where he sells El Chapo stock, and we all buy into his company. Do I buy Amazon this week or do I buy El Chapo? I don't know.
That would be kind of interesting. I'm gonna go shop at El Chapo.
You kind of get what I'm saying, though. It's like none of this would even be a story right now. Like I looked at, like I said, I looked at the whole thing, and it seemed like the one charge that might be involve a victim was buried underneath another charge about drugs.
Yeah.
There
might be more to this story than we
priorities aren't exactly very straight.
No, they're not.